Hi, I'm Jessica, and welcome to my channel, Hero Born Stitches. On this channel, I will talk mostly about cross stitch. My other crafts might sneak in from time to time, but I will try to focus on cross stitch for the most part. Welcome back to anyone who is joining me again, and anyone who has just found me through that magic of YouTube. Welcome, welcome. So, yeah, I'm back. It is a little bit later in the day on Saturday than I had hoped to be recording this. I had some stuff going on I needed to take care of. So I am here, probably not uploading until Sunday though. So probably Sunday by the time you see it. In this episode, we have a ton to do. I want to show you the temperature stitching I got done this week, as well as my progress on my stitch alongs. I also have some work on my Great British Baking Show cross stitch game and Whip into Shape challenge and my round robin challenge. And I'm trying to think if that's it. I'm not sure if that's it or not. I guess we'll figure it out when we get there. I also have a couple bags that I made that I'll show you in just a minute. But the most exciting thing about this episode for me is that over the past week, I crossed into 200 followers. Now, that might not be a huge deal to other people out there, but it is a huge deal to me. It has definitely surpassed what I expected, certainly surpassed my friends and family who are even aware that I'm doing this. So I really appreciate that. And hang with me because I do have a giveaway, maybe two giveaways, I don't know, at the end. So hang with me. But let's start with just a brief life update. I'm really good at making a lengthy life update, but really, honestly, there's not too much that has happened this past week. Just work. I've been working. I've been stitching. As soon as I was done recording at the end of last week, I watched the first episode of the Great British Baking Show, so that's always fun. I watched the second installment of Wednesday. I love that show. That is so good. I'm always kind of sad when it's done. Like 8 episodes is not nearly enough. And I'm not sure what else I did. I've watched a lot of FlossTube. Just really been hanging low, hanging out. That doesn't sound right. Hanging low. Pardon me. So yeah, so the only thing that I really have coming up that's worth talking about is Thursday of this upcoming week. I'm having carpal tunnel surgery on my right wrist. I had mentioned that I was diagnosed with it before. I went ahead and scheduled the surgery for my right wrist. I have severe nerve damage on the right and moderate to severe nerve damage on the left. So I think I will probably end up getting them both done. If you have had carpal tunnel surgery, please shout out to me. Let me know what your experience was. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to stitch. I'm going to be really sad if I can't stitch. But I guess that's a risk that we take. So you will hear next week how that went. So the only thing that really sucks about that so far is that I have to be off of all my arthritis meds and all that good stuff. But you know how when you get old, you're on arthritis meds and things like that. I have to be off of those. So it's been a little bit uncomfortable this week. I have been avoiding the stairs. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started though with the things I have to show you. As I told you guys last time, I did have a couple of bags ready to go. And I went ahead and made those bags because why not? Now that I have figured it out, we just can't not do it. So this is the first one I made, and I actually have a project in here, so it's a little bit pokey maybe, or poochy, I don't know. So again, I lined it in bright orange. I actually have the zipper on the correct side this time. And this is just some of that fabric that my husband had picked up from his sister's stash. So a lot of them have really pretty significant prints on them. So they work really well for these bags. I had this zipper already, and the fabric just kind of worked with the zipper to me. And then I loved the orange. I love a color pop in there. So that is the first bag I made. I guess I don't need to zip it up, or I put it over someplace. And this is the second bag I made. I love this bag. Maybe just because I am super into autumn right now. I was trying to figure out what other fabric I was going to use, and this stuff just kind of jumped off the shelf at me. Now, I need to tell you, this is fabric that I would never buy. I would never buy this fabric, even though I love how autumnal it is. I would never put that in a quilt. It's just not my thing. But again, the zipper's on the right side, and I have this cute little, oh, I don't even know what to call that. Maybe almost a ditzy print, I don't know, inside in that pale green. So it just made me so happy seeing it all together, because it just screams the season to me. So yeah, so I'm really happy with the bags that I made. Now, I have enough fabric to probably make 5 more of these bags, like identical bags. I am not going to make 5 more identical bags, but I am thinking when I do the giveaway stuff at the end, I am going to also give away one of these bags. Not this one, because there's something a little wavy up here I don't like. So I'll make one that's good for you guys, and I send it off to you. So if you like this bag, again, very autumnal with a little print inside. It's fully lined. Just let me know at the end. I'll give you some details on that at the end. The first stitching I want to talk to you guys about is my temperature stitching. I had 4 different projects called this week, and one of the 4 was called actually 4 times. So I had 4 of one project and then 1 time for the other 3. So it just so happens the one that was called 4 times maxed out. I shouldn't say maxed out, but it reached its 10 times in rotation at the end of the 3rd 100 stitches. So I substituted another project in for that I've been needing to get to for a while. The first project I wanted to talk about is Nature's Window. This is relatively new to temperature stitching. You saw it for the first time in temperature stitching last week. For those of you guys who don't know what I do with my temperature stitching, so I've taken the digits 0 through 9 and assigned a WIP to each of them. And then I look at the projected high temperature each day for the week, and I will put 100 stitches in on the project that corresponds with that temperature. Once projects get to being called 10 times, I try to rotate them out and rotate another WIP back in. It's just a way for me to try to get some work in on lots of different things. So yeah, so Nature's Window was the first one. It was only called once. So I put in some of the green up here. I had part of a green floss left after I was done last time. And then I also filled in some of the yellow down here, around here is what I did. So I don't know. I'm always really bad at showing you guys stuff. So yeah, so that is the first one. I love the colors in this one. This one is just so fun. It's hung out for a very long time. So I'm excited to see it get done. Yeah, so Nature's Window. So this is a kit by someone I cannot remember right now, on just some 14 count Aida with the floss that came in the kit. The next project that was called, and it was only called a single time again, was my kitten ornaments. This is, I think I forgot to say this last time, but this is what it'll look like when it's done. And this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. So I just finished filling in the white, put little heels on her shoes, gave the hat a little pom-pom, and put the dark red in the dress. All that I have left to do is there is some red hat over here that I need to do, and then the black and the back stitching. That is absolutely all that's left to do on here. I guess that's not true. There's a little gold that I don't have the floss for anymore. So I need to find what I'm going to use there. But if this is called again, it will 100% be done. And I think I'm going to go ahead and and like I said last time, finish the other one that it just needs the back stitching done on it too, essentially, when I'm done with that. And it's getting pretty close, I think, to being rotated out. So I'm bound and determined to get these 2 partial ones done before I do rotate them out. So that is the next one. I think it's by Something Special or something like that. The next project that was called was my Moon and Sun sampler. This is what it'll look like when it's done. This is what it looked like last time you saw it. So this was called, last time you saw it, I was able to finish the entire border, top, bottom, and I have a hanging thread here. So ignore the hanging thread. So I was able to finish the whole border. So when it was called this time, I had 100 stitches and I could start a new color. So what I did, and you probably are not going to be able to see it, I started the gold up around this part of the border. So I got a little bit over halfway done with the gold in the border. So that is my plan, to try to get all of the gold done around everything. And then I can start working on the main part of the sampler. So Moon and Sun sampler, the Scarlet Letter. And yeah, so that was called one time, making a little bit of progress on that. So that was nice to put a different color in it. It's been the exact same color every time I've worked on it. The project that was called 3 times, and the number that really was 4 times, was Seasons 2, A Celebration by Hands On Design. I had been working, this is what it will look like when it's done. These are all individual. I couldn't find them all together, and this is where it was the last time you saw it. So with 300 stitches, I was able to pretty much finish off this block. There are maybe 5 or 6 cross stitches left that are in kind of that that blue-green color that is just in that little stripe across there. And then some Smyrna crosses and back stitches. That's all that's left. If I knew that that is all that was going to be left on there, I would not have rotated it out until I had it done. I really thought 300 stitches was going to take me the whole way, but it didn't quite take me the whole way. So even though I rotated this out after 300 stitches, I am going to go ahead and finish the little bit of work that needs to be done just to finish October before I kind of put it away. Lord knows I have enough other stitching to do, but really what's left to do there won't take me more than 30 minutes. So I want to get that done. This was a hard one to decide to trade out, because as I shared before, I kind of wanted it to be called enough so I could keep up, if not ahead of the months of the year that we're in. So finishing October, that's a perfect opportunity for me to move into November. And I sat and I thought about it a long time. As much as I would very much like to do that, there are other projects that need attention that I haven't touched yet. So I just don't want to leave things just hanging in my my temperature stitching for too long. But I will show you this once I have all the back stitching and everything done. It is the definition of a crime scene back. There's just a lot of little different color changes back there. Kind of embarrassed by the back. I will not show it to you. But yeah, so I think it looks pretty cute. It'll look even better once we have the Smyrna crosses and the back stitch done there. So Seasons 2, A Celebration by Hands On Design. This is on Cypress, 28 count Lugana by Fiber on a Whim, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Just a very nice soft green with some good modeling in it. So what I replaced that with in temperature stitching is something that I've been needing to get to for a very long time, and that is Extraordinary Birds. I am seeing everybody's finished Extraordinary Birds up on Instagram and up on YouTube, and I just have FOMO. I'm kind of mad at myself for not getting it done. So I decided to swap this into temperature stitching. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to get work on it all the time, but at least there's a better chance that I'm going to pick it up. So I had not done releases like 10 up through 14. So I have 5 releases to do. And this is what you guys know what it looks like when it's done. That's not going to be surprising to any of you guys. I would love to show you guys where I was at last time. However, for some reason, when my computer switched over, like a lot of the files were corrupted and I really can't access those photos. And I guess I could go back and dig through things, but I'm not finding them very easily. So this is where I was. That peacock is the thing that killed me right there, just because it didn't come into Pattern Keeper very well, and I ended up missing a row without realizing it. Like I said, I don't think anybody but me or someone who has stitched it would probably know that. So I only needed to put 100 stitches in this, and I just did this little guy right here, this little weird looking guy. This release is called the Lovers. He has his little mate right next to him, and he's all puffed up to show off. I did not, his mouth and a little bit around the side of him isn't done. All I did was the black, and that actually took me well past the 100 stitches. I am certain that 1,000 stitches in this is not going to finish it, but it'll never get finished if I don't touch it and start. So, and it felt so good to be working on this again. It was really kind of hard to put down. I wanted to keep going. So if I have an opportunity, I might keep working on that a little bit. So that is my temperature stitching for this past week. I have 2 stitch alongs I've worked on over the past week. The first one is the Autumn Nights stitch along, and that is what it looks like with the 3rd release. This is where it was last time you saw it. And as you will see, I hardly worked on it at all. I was having fun working on other things. And once I saw the release, I just thought to myself, okay, other than that big leaf, I'm just repeating that weird star thing and that pumpkin. And maybe I'll put it on this side. And I don't know. I just couldn't get too excited about it. It is Saturday. The next release comes out on Tuesday of next week. So I think I'm going to spend a good part of the day, probably this evening and maybe part of the day tomorrow, just so I can get that caught up. So it'll be done before the next release drops. And the next release is the last release. So I'm really close to being done with this piece. But yeah, I just did not get excited about the release. I kind of went, oh, that's sort of anticlimactic. So it was really hard to motivate myself to work on it. The one I was really, I'm not doing a very good job telling you guys what these are on. So Extraordinary Birds is on 28 count Lugana Stormy Night by Zweigart. And this is just on, I think it's just some Zweigart 28 count even weave with the called for Classic Colorworks. And I'm popping back and forth. This is all DMC, called for DMC, called for Classic Colorworks. Okay. All right. So the stitch along that I really wanted to work on was the Holiday House stitch along from Satsuma Street. And I held back and did not let myself go hog wild on it. And that was really hard. So this is the first release, how far, like what it will look like. And I just did that little bit right there. So I am stitching this on 32 count raw silver by Zweigart because it is very, very sparkly. And I just thought it would look so cool on this super sparkly fabric. So I've got to do the sleigh. I need to go up and do the arch and the nutcracker. And I think it will all go pretty quick. But yeah, I did not let myself work on this too much. The new release for this doesn't come out until 6 days from now, so Friday. So I'm hopeful to be to have this release completely done by then, but we'll see how that goes. I have a lot of stitches I need to do. So, so those are my stitch alongs that I have worked on. I have also been working on the Gridiron. I've been doing the Gridiron Grind, which is a game by Kim the Spartan Stitcher, where you pick a football team and kind of assign stitches to events that might happen in the football game. So I picked the Kansas City Chiefs because I am a Kansas girl, so that makes sense. So they had their first regular season game last Sunday. Yeah, last Sunday. And they lost. So that was not fun to see. But I did end up having to stitch, I want to say, I think it was 564 points or something like that. So my rules are, if Taylor Swift is at the game, I need to stitch 130 stitches. For every rushing Mahomes touchdown, 150 stitches. Every time Mahomes connects to Kelsey, 102 stitches, because 87 plus 15 is 102. Any turnover by the opposing team is 95 stitches, because Chris Jones' jersey number is 95. And then I stitch 10 stitches for every point scored in quarters 1 through 3, and 15 stitches for every point scored in the fourth quarter. Whew, that is a lot to say. So I got the stitching done on this. It's starting to sort of look like there might be something there. There's still just a whole lot of purple and gray. It's hard to get excited about. I will say I was a little bit more excited about it as it's starting to get a little bit more fleshed out. It remains to be seen whether I will continue doing this. I need something. I need Santa's head. Maybe I just need to go down there. Oh, this is what it will look like when it's done. And this is what it was last time you saw it. So this is Santa at the North Pole, I believe, by Scott Gustafson, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is just a piece of a larger piece of artwork that was made into an ornament. So this, like I said, I think I said that, just some even weave, some Zweigart even weave with just called for DMCs. I am not sure I said that, but okay, as far as the Great British Baking Show goes, there were 4 projects I needed to work on that. So the winner, I stitched 700 stitches for, so 100 stitches a day for the week. The star baker, the baker that gets eliminated, I will stitch 500 stitches for, because that is the last time we're seeing the project. The winner of the technical challenge, I will stitch the number of contestants remaining times 25. So that was 600 this week, because there was still all 12 remaining. And then the loser of the technical challenge, I will stitch the number of, what am I saying? No, I don't know. Maybe I'm not saying that right. I seem to think that I had 25. I don't know. 15, maybe. Yeah, that sounds right, I guess. Boy, I am a hot mess today. The loser of the technical challenge, I will stitch the number of contestants remaining by a certain number of points that I can't remember what it is right now. And I probably calculated it wrong now that I'm thinking about it too. So Tom lost the technical challenge, and the project I have assigned to him is ornaments or smalls. So I just started a new one. So I started Monster Mash by Stitching with the Housewives. This is what it'll look like when it's done. And there weren't a whole lot of stitches to put into it. I can't remember exactly what it was. Was it? I don't know. I guess I could count the stitches and figure out. But this is how far I got. So my poor little monster doesn't really have a head, but his body is there. And there, of course, are some more things for me to do. Tom actually did really well, and it made me very happy because I have a feeling he's going to be sticking around for a while and maybe winning some things, and that'll give me the opportunity to get a lot of ornaments and smalls done. I think he was very close to winning Star Baker. It's just that loss in the technical challenge that probably took him out of the running. And I'm going to say right now, I'm specifically not recording anything or talking about these until it has been out for at least a week. The new episode premiered yesterday on Friday. I have not watched that yet, but I just don't want to spoil things for anybody. So Tom lost that technical challenge. Toby, I believe, won the technical challenge. Maybe? No. I do not know what I'm doing. Toby did win the could I make notes? Could I make notes before I sit and start recording? That would just be too much to do, I guess. Toby won the technical challenge. And the project I have assigned to him is Latitude by Long Dog Samplers. This is one of their newer ones. I am stitching this on Tornado by Fox and Rabbit, 32 count linen with Silks for You PR010. Now, this is also the project that I am stitching for Andrew the Runner Stitcher's Whip into Shape Challenge. So I have copied a couple people on that. And so for every mile that he runs, I am stitching 26.2 stitches and just kind of adding it up for the week. And then because Toby won the technical challenge, I had an additional 600 stitches on there. So this has actually received a fair amount of stitches, but it is a long dog, so I need lots of stitches in it. This one, like I said, I could work on all day long. It's really hard to make myself put it down when I'm done with it. I know I have other things to stitch. So I am really glad that even if Toby gets eliminated, I will still get a chance to stitch on this. And I do think I double counted. I did the biggest of those two totals, and I think it was Andrew's, just because I don't have time to stitch everything I've told you guys I'm going to stitch. So I did double count this one. So this is Latitude Long Dog Samplers. I realized I didn't tell you what this was on. So this is tea-dyed Monaco with Called For Classic Colorworks. Now, I want to say Nadia won Star Baker, and the project I have assigned to her was Daffodil Drive, that piece by Stitches with the Housewife from their Blooming Roots series that I just kind of got stuck on. With 600 stitches, that went a long way on this. I am very close to done with all the yellow flowers. I still have some yellow orange to put in there and some pink, and then this part will be done. There is a little sign that goes on the top also. So I assigned this to, I want to say it's Nadia. Again, Jess, notes. Come on, notes before we do this. And I really just kind of assigned Blooming Roots to her in general because I have several of these that I am behind. So when this one is done, if this gets finished and I need to stitch on additional things, I will just pull out the next one in the series. So yeah, so I got, and that felt really good to get some progress on that also. Now, Hassan is the one who was eliminated. My project that I assigned to him was the Steady Thread Black Work Sal that I had been stitching on for Kenny Stitches Abandoned Sal recently. I still owe it 7 thread lengths, and I did not touch it this week. I am still in decision paralysis on that. I need to figure out what I am doing with the little circles, what I'm doing with the motifs. but I am still going to go back. It's on my list of things to do. I owe it 500 stitches. And because, I mean, it's black work. So I might, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I do with that. It's not like a full cross. So I might count 2 of the sort of back stitches as 1 stitch as we're going. And I am going to double count those 7 threads because that is still on my list also. I'm a little bit embarrassed I didn't get to it. I meant to, and I just kept on picking it up and not knowing what I was going to do. So that is on my list of things to do this coming week. And the last piece of stitching I need to talk to you about is my round robin progress. So I made a little bit of progress on this, put a couple thread lengths into it. So what I'm doing is Winter Stars by Modern Folk Embroidery. This is what it looks like. I am kind of switching colors and cloth up a little bit. This is where it was last time you saw it. So I had originally thought I was going to take these stitches and finish across the top. So I got a good, where am I? Over here. So I got a good count here. So before I ship it off, and we have a while before we ship it off, but so before I ship it off to my Stitching Connection mate, friend, I don't know. And I will do that. I know I'll do that, but I was just kind of a little bit desperate to do something other than just long stretches and diagonals. So I started doing this little reindeer up in this corner here. And the couple thread lengths didn't get too far. I do have that hanging thread there because I want to get the reindeer down so I'll know where that goes up and connects up there. And I know I'm not quite there yet. I just don't want to have to rip out anymore since I had to rip out some beforehand. So I am doing this on Cream and Sugar, Fiber on a Whim, 36 count linen with cottage garden threads, I believe, mistletoe, which you can see is a very, very aggressively variegated thread. And I'm just really kind of loving the way it's looking. It looks so much better in person and it's so fun. So I can hardly wait to get more done on this too. But that is the last piece of stitching I have to show to you guys today. Okay, let's talk a little bit about plans for the upcoming week. So I will continue my temperature stitching. I'm pretty dedicated to that, making sure I do that and get those projects moving forward. So I know I will have some of that to do. I already looked at the temperatures for the next week, and I know I will have at least one of them that will be finished. And I'll be rotating something new in. So I know for sure I will have a finished object next time. If I do what I want to do on my salves, I might even have 2 finished objects next time if I finish up that Autumn Nights salve. So that's probably pretty high on my list to do. I want to get at least the first release done by the time I record again for The Holiday House by Satsuma Street. That just looks amazing. I'm so super excited about that. I definitely want to work on that, put a couple more thread lengths, at least in my round robin project. The Chiefs are playing tomorrow, so they're playing the Eagles Super Bowl matchup. It should be a really good game. It's this Gridiron Grind thing is something because I want them to do well. I want them to do well. I want them to win the game. I want to see lots of exciting stuff, but I am also kind of freaked out a little bit about how much stitching that might mean that I need to do on this piece that I'm not really enjoying a whole lot. So if I have a whole lot of stitching to do, I reserve the right to pull out another one of my full coverage pieces, even though they potentially could be called for the Great British Baking Show. Also, yeah. I'm just not in love with that piece right now. So I know we have that coming up. I'm going to be supporting Andrew with his New York City Marathon training with that Whip into Shape, that extended Whip into Shape challenge. So I have that to do. Great British Baking Show, of course. they're going to be a little bit like, unless if there is a handshake, there should be a little bit fewer stitches that are required because the technical challenge stitches decrease as people leave. So maybe that'll give me a little bit of a break. But of course, probably the most important thing that I do right now is catch up. Catch up with the Sal's, and I really want to get Hassan's project done. And including that 7 thread length. So I can kind of put that to bed for a while and not feel guilty about it, because I always feel guilty when I fall behind on things that I kind of plan to do. So I think that is all my plans. I don't think I'm starting anything new. I know I had the goal to fully finish an object every month. And I do think I'm going to take that Home Sweet Home piece, that first stitch along I did when I came back to cross stitching, and put it into a bag. I'm kind of planning to do that this next week. I just need to find what fabric I want to line it and all of that good stuff. So yeah, that is pretty much what my plans are. So wish me luck. Wish me luck. That's a lot. Okay, and to celebrate me hitting 200 followers, which, like I said, might not be a big deal to somebody else, but it's a big deal to me. I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys who have stuck in there, been watching me, been supporting me. So I've decided that I want to give away a $20 gift certificate for my 200 followers to 123 Stitch. On top of that, like I mentioned earlier, I am also, if anyone is interested in an autumnal bag that matches this, since I have so much fabric that I could repeat this, I'm also going to give away one of those. So what I need you guys to do is, first of all, avoid all of those words like me, please, contest, anything that is going to bring people in who aren't stitchers. We don't want that. So what I need you to say, if you are wanting the bag, a chance to win the bag, is autumn. So someplace you need to leave me a comment. Can you tell I've never done this before? You need to leave me a comment, and somewhere in the comment, you need to use the word autumn, and then you will be entered to win the bag. And as far as the gift card for 123 Stitches, I think that's the name of it, right? I'm having a day. I need you to use the word kindness in your comment someplace. And that is because if you watched my very first video, I talked about wanting to start this Stitchy Kindness project. And I want you to know that has not fallen off my radar. I just realized I kind of need to be at a critical mass of people, have a certain number of followers before that even makes a whole lot of sense. So hitting 200 gets me part of the way there, where I think I might be able to roll that out. So kindness for the gift card to 123 Stitch, and autumn in the comment for a chance to win the bag. And I will go ahead and randomly draw a winner probably early Saturday morning. And good luck. Good luck. I hope you win. Now, I would greatly appreciate a like and if you would subscribe, greatly appreciate that also, but I'm not going to police for that. I don't need to blackmail someone into trying to win a prize. So I just really want to make sure it goes to a stitcher. So let's avoid those words that are going to bring the people who just want free stuff in and who are not stitchers. So I think that's about it for this week. I think I might actually not have a super long video, but I don't know. I haven't checked it yet. So hard to know. So have a fantastic week. Wish me well with my carpal tunnel surgery, and wish me well with being able to stitch everything that's on my list for this week. Well, we will figure out next week how that went. If you're interested in the gift card or the project bag, please leave me a comment with either kindness or autumn, and take care. Thank you for spending some of your stitchy time with me, and I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye.